our team, our community. This is CondorsTown, and this is another Energy Condors connection. Now, here's Erik Fox and Ryan Holt.
So we were hoping to talk today about having 2 W's, but instead we had another W called water that affected the last 2 games. What up? My name is Erik Fox from Energy 95.3. Other side of the split screen, my brother from another mother, Ryan Holt from the Bakersfield Condors. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. I got my Christmas presents in. I got some new. I feel trendy. I got the AirPod Beat things. I feel trendy.
Look at you. You got a vest that has like 2 different patterns. You got Beats.
No,
headphones.
it's a full coat. It's a coat. It looks like a vest. This is Grayson, by the way. It's our official team sponsor downstairs. But yeah, it's as comfortable as it gets. I tell you.
As long as your official sponsor downtown is not the California Water Department or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's talk about it, because obviously we were hoping to talk today about a couple W's on the board. We'll talk about that in a moment. But yeah, let's do what we normally do. We'll talk about the Oilers first, which are, they're a team that's just, they wish they can get a W. They wish they can get one. No, they've had the last 7 games that got W's. The win over Ottawa, and a whole lot more going on with the team as they crawl back from the beginning of the season. What are you seeing?
Yeah, I mean they're where they should be. I think the last if you look at their record from the last 3-4 years, they're kind of in the same spot that they were at this point now. And I guess it's not how you get there; it's that you get there. I don't think sending Jack Campbell to the American Hockey League, I don't think a coaching change and all of that was on the radar for this team. But the fact of the matter is, it was, and that's how they circumnavigated and got their way back to where they probably should be. Great story. Yesterday, Phil Kemp was called up late last night. He's a 7th round pick who, has been, he's a guy who just goes about his business for us. He's a glue guy. He's no nonsense. He shows up to work every day. He'll do anything that's asked of him. But he's not a flashy scorer. He's not a flashy defenseman. He's a guy who I probably say on the broadcast maybe once a broadcast, and that's probably a compliment to him. For the fact that he's a great defenseman that way. But he hits his first NHL recall, and whether he plays or not, who knows? You never know in the NHL. But if he does play, it's a great story for us. It's a guy who, when you're a 7th round pick, the chances of you making the NHL are slim, and the chances of you having an NHL career are very slim. And I think he's already succeeded in, exceeding expectations, and now we'll see what he can do at the NHL level.
So he already called up. He hasn't played in the NHL, but he got called up for the Stanley Cup playoffs last year. So what are we seeing right now? Because they're on a 3-game road trip, including Chicago tonight, which Chicago's having their own problems. Do you think he's going to get ice time this time?
We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's you mentioned, kind of as a black ace, that's a great experience to be kind of around. That's something that a lot of teams do. This is kind of the first, in season, and actually earned one, and his paycheck goes from, 120,000 to 750,000. So that's not a bad boost. So hopefully he's up there for a couple of weeks and can pad the paycheck a little bit. But it's a great story, and he'd be the 21st Condor in the last 8 years, the 18th in the last 4 years alone since 2018 to go up to the NHL. And that doesn't include, there's Michael Kessering with Arizona, Dylan Wells with Chicago, 2 guys who were in Bakersfield, either got traded or, assigned to another organization and then went up to a different NHL organization. So that's just the Oilers themselves. And it's not the first rounders. It's not the second rounders. It's guys like Vinny Desharnais, who is a 6th rounder. James Hamlin, undrafted. Phil Kemp, 7th rounder. These aren't guys who you're going to expect to play in the NHL. You're just not. That's the reality of the situation. And the fact that they have become everyday AHL players is a success. And now you're seeing them become everyday NHL players in the case of Vinny and Hammer. It's a great success story. It really is. It speaks volumes to the coaching staffs here in Bakersfield. Jay, Dave, and now, with Colin Keith here in Bakersfield. But it's a great story.
I love the fact in which, you and I have worked since the ECHL days where the chance you're going to see someone in the NHL I think LB is the only one I can remember off the top of my head that like went all the way up there. But now we're seeing it where it's like all it takes is a phone call. All of a sudden, some of these players we're seeing here in B-Town are playing in the big leagues. That's pretty amazing.
And along with that too, I mean, it's different for other organizations. I mean, we just mentioned Chicago, right?
Right.
They have of their 11 forwards tonight, I think they make less than Connor McDavid total. If you added up all their salaries, that just speaks volumes to where they are as an organization. Same thing with like a San Jose or an Anaheim here lately out west, but not to say diminish that making the NHL for those organizations is any less of an accomplishment. It certainly is. But when you're getting to the NHL, like in the case of Vinny and Hammer, and joining a team that is Stanley Cup, thirsty, a team that's in the mix, and being an everyday player for them, like that's pretty impressive. It really is, because you're not just going up to get some games and get your feet wet and try and develop. The NHL is not a development league. You're not up there. If you're up there and developing players at the NHL level, you're not doing it right. They need to be ready when they go to the NHL. And yes, sometimes injuries and stopgaps have to happen, but if you're up there full time, you're not developing. You are what you are. You're going to get better, but you're a finished product. You're not there to learn. You're up there to go. And that's why I think, and that's why I think the coaching staffs here in Bakersfield done a great job, because when guys have gone up to the NHL, they've been ready. Now, have they all stuck? You look at Raphael Lavoie or whoever, lately, have they all stuck up there? No, they haven't all stuck. But when they've been up there, they've been ready and they've been called upon by the Oilers.
Love that. Let's go and jump into what we talked about with the local one. By the way, I do see a couple of viewers in Alberta right now. Thank you guys for checking in on the stream. Appreciate that.
We're hot in Edmonton. I'm telling you.
Let's go and talk about, obviously, we expected to talk about a couple of games, like the results of the games, but the result ended up being a broken water main down in San Diego. What was that like? I mean, I saw the video. It was just crazy. Yeah,
a little strange. I mean, we, for those who, take you behind the curtain a little bit, but for those who don't know, we traveled the day before a game, to places like San Diego and San Jose and Ontario when we can. Sometimes we have to do it overnight, but more often than not, we'll get into a city, Thursday around dinner for a Friday, Saturday. And woke up, like I normally do at 6 o'clock on the road, and, was going to get my morning coffee and start my day. And our equipment manager, Matt Brayfield, gave me a call, and he was panicked on the other end. I thought something was more serious than what it was, but he was, it's underwater. I'm like, all right, let's calm down. Let's figure it out. And, water main broke at the top of the, so if anybody's been to San Diego, if anybody's been to Mechanics Bank Arena, it's basically, the event level, you kind of, it's a funnel, right? And Pechanga, the locker rooms are actually right there in San Diego. So, the water main broke at the top of the ramp. Water came gushing in and flooded the locker rooms, and we had all already set up everything. So it would have been something to even get the gear dry in a day or two, and then come to find out, then the water got on the ice, and we don't just put any water on the ice. Like it's specially treated water that goes on ice surfaces, so it's not exactly clean water that came on the ice. And they were going to need a couple of days to clean up. So we got on the bus and headed back home. It's we had the weekend off because, we had to get the gear dry, and we had no ice here in Bakersfield. So, so we've been off. We got back on the ice yesterday, but it's definitely a hiccup. We've already had the fewest amount of games played in the league, and now we have more games to play. But, I think it's 46 games in 100 days, which is kind of an NHL schedule. So we're going to be playing a lot of games here coming up, which is good because the team's playing well, and I think that's all that matters.
One of the funniest things in which I saw, I'm like, hey, just have a thicker sheet of ice. But apparently, that's not going to necessarily work.
No. You can't just you don't just get your garden hose and make an ice surface here in Baker. Like, it doesn't work. It's especially treated in
Minnesota,
water.
like in the backyard right now.
You could, I mean, in a pinch, I suppose. But it was, definitely a hassle. I think the two games are going to kind of be put in two separate trips in March, I think is going to be the official word. Kind of tag it onto a couple of other road trips, which is great for those of us who don't mind off nights in San Diego. So that's great. But definitely a hiccup, but we've been through just about everything. I mean, this isn't anything we're not accustomed to. So, the team's playing well, and that's all that matters. And we'll get back to business this weekend.
It's intriguing to me that we didn't get rained out when we were at Bakersfield College, but we got rained out inside an arena in San Diego.
It reminded me of Bull Durham. You need a rain out, and then he goes to the field and turns the sprinklers on. I get your rain out.
Let's go jump into we already talked a little bit games in hand. I mean, this adds more to the games in hand, which is you're talking about the compressed schedule already. But let's talk about what's coming up, and that's that ping pong back and forth with San Jose this weekend. What are we looking at that? I mean, especially when you've had that much time off.
Yeah.
Is it really hard for the guys to like get back in line, or is it just business as usual?
We've been used to it. I mean, we've got some injuries too, which is helpful to we're kind of navigating the season without really any injuries, just because we haven't really played a ton of games in a condensed schedule. So if we can get healthy and stay healthy, I mean, it's going to be a good run for us. San Jose is a team that, let's face it, they're not a playoff team. They're not going to be a playoff team. And, I think the Condors have to continue to act like that. We have, at the time, I think we talked last week, we have, 12 games against San Jose and San Diego this season. We've gotten 3 out of 4 points already with a 1-0-1 against San Jose. We would have had a good weekend in San Diego. And then San Jose kind of wrapping up this little stretch. But these are games you have to win. These are games you have to get points in. And it's a reverse of last week when we started at home and went to San Jose. And now we start on the road and come home for Saturday night. So, I think it's, business as usual for this team. If we played as many games as everybody else, we'd be probably 3rd or 4th right now in the division. As is, we're basically 6th on points percentage. We should probably be 3rd right now. And I think you'll see that over the next couple of weeks.
Let's go and talk about the game. Obviously, Friday night is an away game up in San Jose. People want to check out the game. What they need to do?
Yeah, AHL TV is your best bet, and I'll be on the call at 6:45.
And then Saturday back in town. Hopefully, after that W in San Jose away, people need to do that. What do they need to do?
Yeah, it's our Condors Fighting Cancer night, so we got a lot going on. With especially the jersey auction. We have 5 jerseys that are going to be auctioned off live after the game. And those jerseys are going to go directly to local pediatric cancer patients here in Bakersfield. So players have gotten a chance to meet the kids already and spend some time with them. So we met 9-year-old Melanie last week. Brad Malone's jersey is going to go directly to her. We met Maria yesterday. She's a 13-year-old with leukemia. She's having Seth Griffith represent her. So when Griff's jersey goes off on Saturday night, the money's going to go directly to Rhea and her family. So just a really cool initiative that we're doing with Dignity Health and try to, have the night be a little more impactful. All the kids are going to come out to the game with their families and give them a nice distraction, really, from kind of their everyday struggles or maybe the obstacles that they're going through. So those 5 jerseys will be post game. So you have to be here to get those jerseys and to participate in that auction, but the online auction for the rest of the jerseys will be on our app starting on Saturday, and that runs for another week. So you have time on that.
Just had a little comment pop up from Gabriella. She's going to be out there. Anyone else wants to go out there and definitely be a part of this amazing event. What do they need to do?
Yeah, tickets start at $15. BakersfieldCondors.com. We've got some great deals, and it's going to be a special night for a lot of people. And yeah, like I said, it's a distraction for some and a way to honor others. And, everyone's been impacted by cancer in one way, shape, or form, no matter who you are. And
right.
Our team wanted to do something special for a good chunk of people.
Definitely a great event. Definitely going to be a part of it, and look forward to that. And hopefully we'll be talking about some games actually being played on our next broadcast, since we kind of just...
I'll be in a hotel room, I think. Yeah, I'll be in Colorado next Tuesday.
Yeah,
so
you will be.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that road trip next time and a whole lot more.
I'll be Rocky Mountain.
We got some tough competition coming up, which is going to be interesting to watch for sure.
Yeah,
Ryan Holt from the Bakersfield Condors. My name is Erik Fox from Energy 95.3. Every single week we get you caught up on all things CondorsTown on your official Energy Condors connection. We will see you guys next week. Take care. Bye-bye.